Welcome to Maslow AI, Systems Thinking for Life Fulfillment. I'm John Betancourt. For 25 years, I worked as an aerospace engineer and software architect. Our mission was clear: keep planes flying safely and efficiently. When a plane had problems, we didn't guess. We diagnosed each subsystem until we found the root cause. And here's what every engineer learns: planes, like people, roll off the production line, and they are not perfect. Some have problems we can live with, some need maintenance, and some require complete overhauls. And sometimes we have to ground them. However, the same brilliant engineers who understand that planes sometimes need upgrades accept their own shortcomings as unfixable, as if people can't be improved. Today we'll explore the story of Claire, a brilliant woman who believed she was too broken and too old to change. Her journey proves it's never too late for an upgrade. At 52, Claire is thriving in her career. She's the head nurse at a major New York City hospital and a devoted mom to her 17-year-old daughter. Her love life, however, is another story. After two divorces and several failed relationships, she is giving up on romance. She always follows the same pattern. She meets someone, she gets anxious, becomes clingy, and pushes her partner away. Her therapist told her that she has an anxious attachment style. So Claire knows what the problem is, but she believes she can't change it. Although psychologists call it anxious attachment, Claire calls it, "I'm too old to change, I'll die alone." But here's the truth: this is not a death sentence. Claire isn't doomed. With the right framework and the right approach, her system can be redesigned. So let's talk a little bit about these different attachment styles. Psychologists usually describe four. There's the secure attachment style. There's the anxious attachment style, the one that Claire has. There's the avoidant attachment style. And there's the disorganized attachment style. Understanding these four styles gives us a clear roadmap, and it lays the foundation for Claire's case. It's important to recognize that attachment styles are often wired early in someone's life. Some researchers believe even before birth. And just like airplanes, like I said, there's no such thing as a perfect model. We all come with quirks. This is why, for certain attachment styles, relationships often feel turbulent. Anxious and avoidant types are drawn to each other, but once paired, they can drive each other crazy. Disorganized styles swing between extremes, creating even more chaos. That's why finding secure partners can often make a huge difference. It's like a stabilizer on an aircraft. They bring balance and are able to work with every other attachment type. As I've said, attachment doesn't start in adulthood. It begins the moment we are born. Oxytocin, also known as the cuddle hormone, is the chemical glue of human connection. It's released through touch, eye contact, and caregiving. Depending on how much oxytocin you get at each stage of life, this wires your attachment style. From ages, let's just say 0 to 2, every cuddle, feeding, and soothing wires the infant brain to expect either safety or, when you don't get the cuddle, the feeding on time, and the soothing, chaos. From ages 2 to 12, oxytocin continues shaping the system. Secure children build trust. Insecure children learn anxiety or avoidance. By the teen years, the hormones collide, with those early blueprints, setting the stage for love and sometimes heartbreak. Claire's earliest wiring came from inconsistent childhood caregiving. She learned early on love isn't always safe or reliable, and that blueprint shaped everything that followed. As we enter adolescence and young adulthood, our attachment system leaves the family and enters the relationship. First crushes and breakups feel like earth shattering moments because they touch the same wiring built in childhood. Romantic rejection often folds into identity. People begin to identify themselves as, I'm too needy. I don't trust other people. Anxious teens grow into anxious adults. Claire remembers her first college love. When it ended, she didn't just lose a boyfriend. She absorbed a belief: people will always leave me. I'm not lovable. That heartbreak reinforced the anxious wiring she carried from childhood, and she still has to deal with today. After 50, which is where Claire is today, her hormones have stabilized, but bonding chemistry is at the lowest. So Claire has decided this is a death sentence. But it isn't. It's a design challenge. Her task is not a total restart, but a redesign. She needs to consider hormone therapy to restore some bonding chemistry, use her knowledge of neuroplasticity to carve new pathways, and find new supportive environments that reinforce healthy patterns. It may take 24 to 48 months, but Claire can absolutely improve her system. This aircraft doesn't need to be grounded, it just needs a redesign. So, what can Claire do to leverage our new understanding of neuroplasticity to improve her brain's early wiring? Well, she can interrupt old loops by noticing anxious thoughts and pause before reacting. She can practice mindfulness, use breathing, grounding, or meditation to calm her nervous system. She can reframe her thoughts, replace abandonment fears with balanced interpretations. And she can build secure bonds, spend time with consistent, reliable people to reinforce her sense of safety. Moreover, she can engage her body in things like exercise, touch, such as massage therapy, and relaxation practices to boost her brain chemistry. Consistent practice over months, 24 to 48 months, can rewire the brain for secure attachment. But for lasting changes, it is best to work with a professional who can coach you along the way. And remember, your brain never stops changing. For decades, scientists believed the adult brain was fixed, like an aircraft locked in the hangar. That belief trapped people like Claire into believing that they have lifelong patterns that cannot be changed. Then came the neuroplasticity revolution. We now know the brain can rewire itself until the day we die. Every new experience reshapes your system. Neuroplasticity proves no aircraft is permanently grounded. So the question is, what's possible for adults like Claire? And what's possible for you? Knowing your attachment style, to begin with, is like knowing how your aircraft works. And neuroplasticity gives you hope. That's the upgrade path. It means your aircraft can be retrofitted at any age. However, many people with anxious or avoidant attachment styles just give up. That's why understanding that your relationship needs are just as important. And that's the next step. So now let's explore how understanding Maslow's hierarchy of needs can better help us navigate our individual attachment styles. In 1943, Abraham Maslow introduced his hierarchy of needs. So, of course, as you remember, we have our physiological needs, safety and security, love and belonging, self esteem, and self actualization. But keep in mind, attachment theory didn't exist yet. So Maslow's love and belonging tier is vague, only listing family and intimacy, but with no clear idea of how human bonds actually work. It's not until 1958 that Bowlby's foundational work on attachment style would arrive. So, whereas Maslow in 1943 showed us that love and belonging are universal human needs, Bowlby in 1958 shows us that we should pursue and maintain relationships based on our individual attachment styles. Together, Maslow shows us that relationships continue to matter, but you can't just because you have a relationship need have relationships with anybody willy nilly. Bowlby shows us that our attachment style affects our relationship success. The key takeaway is that, generally speaking, we all have love and belonging needs, but we have to be mindful of how you go about meeting those needs. We have to take attachment styles into account. So, just like you don't take a plane into a hurricane that is a single engine plane, people are no different. If you know you lean anxious and you know you have love and belonging needs, you should not dive into relationships with, for example, avoidant partners. That pairing almost guarantees turbulence. Instead, and this is so important, find your tribe. Find people in the best of circumstances, perhaps with secure attachment styles, who can reinforce your sense of safety and security. Again, here's the key takeaway. Most love advice ignores the aircraft you're actually flying. Maslow shows us we all have love and belonging needs. Bowlby shows we have unique attachment styles, and we need to take that into account when choosing our partners. And the science of neuroplasticity shows us that it's never too late to rewire our brains and modify our attachment styles somewhat. Claire's single engine plane isn't grounded. With systems thinking, she can fly her most fulfilling missions yet. With awareness of her attachment style, awareness of her love and belonging needs, and knowledge that she can modify her attachment style somewhat because of neuroplasticity. So let me ask you, are you ready to stop winging it? If Claire's story resonated with you, share this with someone who also needs to hear that it's never too late to change. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Click the bell for notifications each time we upload a new video. And leave a comment. I read every single comment, and it helps me determine what topics our YouTube channel should focus on. So tell me, what's your attachment style? Leave me a note in the comments. And what's one step you'll take this week to begin your own system redesign? Thank you for listening to Maslow AI Systems Thinking for Life Fulfillment. And again, I'm John Betancourt, and this is Maslow AI, where systems thinking helps you have a more fulfilling life.